Hey guys, it's Martin Cliffe here in the first of my regular Thursday gear videos from my new series. And in this video I'm going to be looking at my pedalboard. My pedalboards change quite often, and this is a newly condensed one that I wanted to do to bring it down to a practical thing for gigging. And also in my last sort of tone related video I talked about how I'd been exploring using the amp kind of at a more broken up kind of setting and then using a guitar to control that. And I said that I was going to swap out some pedals to utilize that setting a bit more. So at the moment there is no pedals on, I'm just straight into the amp and that's giving me so it's kind of moderate gain. I should mention I am playing Mikey, which is my new Standard Pro. It's got an SSV Plus in the bridge and a tremolo nose system, but other than that it is stock. The reason I'm playing this rather than blue is because this is the one that I picked up. They're identical otherwise. The Strongwave 9.5 to 44 D'Addario NYXLs. And what that gives me in terms of the amp is obviously a quite a crunchy kind of tone without ever being too kind of overdriven. But what I can do then is pull back on the guitar volume. Because you can always be less than 10, but being more than 10 requires other things. So turning the guitar down, as I say, to about 5 or 6 will clean it up a bit and give that kind of pure clean tone, but then I get that little bit of extra versatility from the extra gain. Now my pedalboard is, it's a Pedal Train Junior, and it's pretty kind of full for a Pedal Train Junior. First up is a Sir Koji Comp compressor, which is set quite differently than I used to have it set, primarily in the output level, because I wanted it, I've got it before my gain pedals now rather than after, just because I wanted to try it like that for kind of country stuff and all that. So if I turn that on, it doesn't get any louder, it just kind of gets a bit more even and snappy. So it's evening stuff out, it's bringing up the quiet stuff, so it means that I can turn the guitar way down to like 1 on the volume control and it still comes through sort of loud and sparkly, and it also makes it a little bit brighter. Next up I have my Sir Rufus Fuzz, and this is likely to change purely because at some point in the next couple of months I'm hoping to get a Rufus Reloaded Fuzz, which has the added octave feature. But for the moment, and this will make things a bit noisy, but it's set up for being a pretty versatile pedal. I use it on the red mode. And that's just the noise from the pedal. But if I then turn the volume all the way up, yeah, so it's one of those, a lot of fuzz pedals, and this one certainly does it. On 10 it's very fuzzy, and then you take the guitar volume down past about sort of 8.5 or so, and it cleans up a lot and becomes quite trebly. And on its own that works really well, and in combination with other pedals, which I'll do in a future video, it does some even cooler things. But it means that I can get, without even stomping on the pedal, I can go from that kind of singing so it'll clean up really, really well. And I know that the Rufus Reloaded is kind of somewhere between the green and the red modes on the standard Rufus, and as I'm running the fuzz just past 12 o'clock, so nearly 1 o'clock, then I'm pretty sure that using the Rufus Reloaded with the fuzz a little bit higher will give me a very similar tone. If it doesn't, I'll use that for something else and keep this on the board, but I am looking forward to trying the octave feature for just added versatility. Next up, we have the Sir Coco Boost Reloaded, which I use exclusively in the mid-boost kind of mode. And this really drives the amp hard, despite the fact that it itself is pretty much just a clean boost with a bit of a mid-hump. What it does is it takes the amp from and then the neck. So again, it's that's exciting. The rest of the guitars in the room, so they're ringing a bit, which is always fun. Really versatile, cleans up nicely because it's just driving the amp hard, and then on the bridge it gives me a really nice crunch. And that's going, just from that. So that on its own, again, it works in combination with the other pedals as well, but it's just ways of kind of enhancing the natural sound of fabulous guitar into fabulous sounding amplifier. I'm using this one, my Ignitor tweaker with old stock tubes. The cab actually has a one of the new Celestion Creamback Neos, which is a 60-watt speaker. Really lightweight, which is useful when you've got an attenuator in the cab as well. Sounds great, really fantastic sounding speaker, and the extra lightweightness is good too. Okay, and next up in my chain is my Sheba drive reloaded. Yes, I've got something other than my normal Sheba drives on this board. I love the ordinary Sheba drives going into a clean amp, but because they're a bit darker, I found going into the already slightly driven, or at least edge of breakup, but really edge of breakup amp, they were a little bit muddy, whereas this is just a little bit more open sounding. I've got gain and level about halfway up, and then the tone just past it, about just 1 o'clock. And again, this is quite a low gain, and it's not driving the amp into the volume either, it's just a bit of extra oomph. So yeah, just giving you a little bit of extra drive. If I want more, I can kick on the Coco in front of it, and that will really push it hard. With added noise and all that kind of stuff. And finally in the chain before the amp is then the surge dual boost, which just makes whatever's going in a little louder. I have the red channel set with, I'd say, about 7 dB of boost and no high cut. Green channel rolls off the high a little bit and there's about 5 dB of boost. So it's discernible, but it's subtle, and that's, subtle variations on a really great tone is what this whole rig is about. Finally in the chain, that goes to the front of the end of the amp. The tuner is actually between the compressor and the Rufus fuzz, just because that was the easiest place in terms of routing for it to go. Is the timeline delay, which has been my trusty delay since I got one. Does all kinds of cool things. But I mostly use just a rhythm patch, which is a very subtle delay. Which is just using the bucket technology. And this is in the effects loop. And then I have the lead patch, which is just the same with a bit more delay. So that's pretty cool. And then there's my ditto looper that is just set up at the end of the chain to pick up whatever it is. If I wanted to insert anything else, there is a convenient patch point for me to do so between the timeline and the ditto. In terms of, I just remove one patch cable, patch in. Say I wanted to use my Mobius or my Big Sky or something like that. If I have a slave pedal board that will cover in a future video that can be part of it can be inserted in there and part of it can go in the front end. Just options, but for 99% of what I want, this board covers everything. So yeah, that's pretty much, I think, all I've got. I've got just a basic slow E blues in the ditto, I think. So I'll just play out with that. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Please like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of good stuff, and I'll speak to you soon.